Batman has what's known as the Bat family, so you would assume that they do some more slice-of-life, family-type things. Well, today we're going to be exploring that with more chapters of the Batman Webtoons special. This is the Comicstorian channel, where I take some of your favorite comic books, I break them down into an audio drama, and I try to keep you up to date as to what's going on in the world of comics so that you know and can be a part of it. Today we're going to be starting at Batman Webtoons number 36, Belonging, Part 1. Steph readies herself as she tells the computer to begin the simulation again, and just as the targets appear, she rushes in to attack. She takes down the first wave and then the second, but as the third arrives, one of the targets is a gunman who already has her in his sights. As he pulls the trigger, the simulation ends and Steph shouts, asking, why can't she do this? Tim walks up with a little bottle of water, telling her that she should take a break. She's been at it for a while now. She tells him that she doesn't need a break, she needs to get it right. And Tim asks, please, just give him 5 minutes. She takes the water, slumping down. Fine. And Tim asks what's wrong. Why is she trying so hard? She tells him that he doesn't get it. He doesn't know what it's like to fight for your place here, to feel like you're one mistake away from having all of this taken away. She always felt like she had something to prove. First, it was not to be like her father. Then she wanted to show Bruce that she was worthy of the Robin mantle, and show Babs and Cass that their faith in her wasn't misplaced. That is why she has to work harder, to push farther. It's the only way that she can prove to everyone that she deserves to be here. Tim tells her that doubt she's struggling with, he struggled with it too. It's like a sickness. If he could get rid of it for her, he would, but maybe he can help. They've seen each other at their worst and their best. And when he says that she has nothing to prove, she doesn't. Not to him, Bruce, or anyone else. She absolutely belongs here in the Bat family. Now he can believe in her, but it's up to her to believe too. After her break, Steph tells herself that she can do this. She doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. She can do this. So she begins the simulation once again and succeeds. She jumps in excitement and then Bruce tells her nice work. She turns back, asking how long was he there, and Bruce tells her for just a few moments. You've been down here long? She takes off her wraps and tells him just a little bit, just working some things out. Bruce stops her, stating that he started down this path. He created Batman as a symbol, something to make his enemies afraid of him, to bring hope to things that could be better. But a symbol is perfect and people aren't. No one can live up to those ideals all the time, not even them. All they can do is their best, and her best is more than good enough. Steph says that she knows it is, and Bruce tells her good. Give them hell out there. She laughs, telling him that she always does. The next story is SOS. Bruce looks at the time, telling them, okay, car comes around in half an hour. Plenty of time to get everyone ready and out the door. Alfred said that I wouldn't be able to manage things while he was gone. Shows what he knows. Duke and Damian then enter the room asking if they can get his help. They don't know how to tie a tie without Alfred around. Bruce tells them, of course, happy to help. Just go here and under here and over there. Damian looks at the lopsided tie, telling him that he's pretty sure that isn't it. Bruce leans in, stating that something must have gone wrong. Let me try it on myself. He stares in the mirror and begins his work, and gets the same result. And Duke asks, why don't we just call Alfred? There's no need for that. Besides, we shouldn't bother him. We will get this. So Bruce calls the next person that he can think of, Superman. Superman arrives. What's wrong? Perfect. How do you tie a tie? Wait, Bruce, did you call me about a tie? Do you know how to tie a tie? We don't have much time, Superman. What happened to Alfred? He isn't here. Can you help or not? Superman begins to go through the motions, telling him to tie it this way, then under that, and he should be good. Bruce looks at the tie and tells him, it's inside out! Didn't you do this every day for work? Superman yells back at him, do not take that tone with me! We'll figure it out! So a few minutes later, Flash is telling him, no. You start with going over, then under, then through, then you go around again. Green Lantern begins to show a projection asking, are you even looking at what I'm doing right now? It's under, around, then through. Green Arrow asks, why don't we just ask the butler? And everyone turns shouting, he's out of town! Bruce then chimes in, we're running out of time. We can get this, Bruce, one more time. But Wonder Woman walks in telling them all, I don't understand. Why don't you just not wear the tie? What are they going to do? Kick the richest person in Gotham out of a party for not wearing a tie? Everyone stares in silence for a moment, and Bruce clears his throat. Right. Well, good job, everyone. And he ends the transmission. And later, once Alfred returns, Damien hugs him, asking him to never leave again. The next story is Secret Identity. As Tim, Luke, and Duke all go out for lunch, Duke picks up his food and says that he has a question for them. How do they manage their secret identity? He might be getting a bit too much attention, and he can't always explain the bruises that he's getting from the patrols. Luke says that it's one of the hardest parts of the job. On one hand, you want to tell people. On the other hand, it puts them all at risk. Duke tells him, yeah, I just hate lying all the time, but how do you get people to stop asking questions? Luke tells him, well, maybe you could make up a believable story. I sometimes get into fights in tournaments and spars, which is sometimes true. Tim tells him, yeah, you could consider getting a shape-shifting friend to take your place so you can both be seen at the same time. Or maybe you could fake an injury and people will believe that you can't be a vigilante. Of course, it'll take a significant amount of time to commit to fake physical therapy. Duke asks how long is he talking? And Tim says that when he did this, he did about a year of physical therapy, but you might be able to get away with 6 months. Duke stares in shock and Luke says, or you could just lay low for a bit, see if it works. And Duke tells him, yeah, that sounds better, with Tim scoffing. Whatever, my plans are good. It was a quiet day at the Watchtower as the Flash and Green Lantern talk about traveling when they hear a clacking noise. They look over to see Batman hobbling in on crutches and they ask him what happened, is he okay? Batman tells them that it was nothing. But as he leaves, Green Lantern whispers that it must have been a bad fight. Flash says that he saw something about the Riddler on the news the other day, maybe that was it. But as Batman goes to his seat, Green Arrow whispers to Black Canary that he heard that it was Bane, that Bane grabbed his leg and snapped it like a twig. Next, Aquaman tells Hawkgirl that Batman was dragged into the sewers by Killer Croc, and he almost had his leg bitten clean off. While everyone goes on about what they think happened, Superman and Wonder Woman ask why didn't he tell them about his leg? They could have prevented it from happening. Batman tells them, it's nothing, it'll heal. What happened? Superman is inquisitively asking what happened. Batman scoffs, thinking about how it did happen. He was in the manor and no one was around, and he started skateboarding down the hall. It went fine, but surprisingly, when he stepped down the stairs, he tripped. He clears his throat. Yeah, that's how it happened. I was attacked. Wonder Woman looks at him. Really? Yeah, it was Bane and Riddler. What about Joker and Croc? Sure, them too. Wonder Woman shrugs. If you say so. Yeah, definitely what happened. Detective work. Once everyone is seated, Stephanie folds her arms, stating that this will go a lot faster if one of them fesses up to it. Tim, Duke, and Jason ask what is it all about. No one has any idea what this is all about. Stephanie slams her hands on the table, telling them that somebody stole half of her turkey sandwich while she was grabbing a package at the front gate. And they were the only ones here, so one of them is the culprit. Duke asks, isn't Damien here too? Damien's a vegetarian. He's the only one that I know is innocent. She then takes the napkin that had her sandwich on it, and Ace sniffs it. Okay, Seek, find the thief! Ace stares at her for a moment, then jumps up, licking her face. And she sighs. I should have known you wouldn't snitch. Respect, though. Stephanie then yells that she'll just have to check where everyone was today, and that'll tell her who stole it. First was Jason. He had spent his afternoon in the library. But to Stephanie's surprise, there are no crumbs left behind. Next was Duke in the study. But just like Jason, there's no evidence. Lastly was Tim, who was writing a report, and they all know he gets hungry when he writes, but she stopped as Damien opens the door asking if she can keep it down. He's trying to paint. And also he moved her sandwich to the fridge. Try not to leave food sitting out. He slams the door shut and everyone stares at Stephanie. Well, this is awkward. Next up we have Ransom. This is not how Tim planned his night. He could think of a million things he'd rather have done than get captured by some thugs. Sure, he could easily escape, but that's not what a scared citizen would do. So instead, he has to wait until they demand some ransom. Hopefully, sooner than later. As Tim is watching the clock, a light flickers for a moment and Jason appears telling the men not to move. Get on the ground! He then whispers asking, you let these guys get you? Seriously? Another man then asks, how did Jason find them so fast? And Jason tells them, well, You kidnapped a kid in front of a bunch of witnesses and 3 different security cameras, using a van that you rented with your real credit card, and then you brought him back to your real apartment. How could I have not found you? The thugs sigh and Jason asks, "This is your first kidnapping, isn't it?" And one of the men tells him, "Yeah, we didn't realize how many mistakes we made." Jason looks at them. "You didn't mess up everything. You did manage to grab one of the richest kids in Gotham. And I'm still here, you know," Tim chimes in. "Look, kid, shh, the adults are talking." He then goes back to talking to the thugs, asking, "Why are you guys even doing this? Time's that bad?" And as Jason has a friendly chat with them, Tim unties himself and just leaves. After a few more minutes, Jason laughs. "All right, guys, it's been fun, but I'm gonna have to knock you guys out now." The thugs ask him, "Why?" And without responding, Jason knocks all the men out and asks Tim if he's ready to go. Tim just stares at him and leaves. "What? What'd I do?" And this is just another batch of the fun stories from Wayne Family Adventures. Now, if you want to read ahead to the finale, then go ahead and check out the link down below. Or you can wait until probably next week when we'll wrap this up, and then we'll get back to the Red Hood webtoons. Hope you guys have been enjoying these, because I actually really like these kind of slice-of-life Batman moments. It's just fun to see the family doing things that aren't always beating things up or distrusting each other. Anyway, guys, I will see you all next time right here at Comicstorian. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon or right here at YouTube memberships to get early access. We'll see you guys next time.